left.
Man just told us why he ain't got a girlfriend. There we go. Deji, follow that, Deji. Follow that.
Yeah, I don't know. Big up to box office. There's a reason why he's box office, because he truly is entertainment. Look, the truth is, Terry, I'm not gonna be on air today and do a Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder. The first half, let's be real, it was domination in the location with maximum penetration. That's what we did. We looked good. The issue I had, and I will always have this, is Timo Werner. Timo Werner gives people hope. Do you get what I'm saying? He would give Colchester United hope. He's that dusty. And I knew that was the weak link. Had Timo Werner squared it rightly to Brennan Johnson, taking the opportunity, no balls into the box, it was a disaster class. But anyway, we're 2-0 up, so we can kind of ride it. You said something in your intro, game management, and I want to have to say, as much as I love life, I was talking on my stream about it's better to have loved than lost than to have never loved at all. I'm starting to think maybe you're right. Maybe we shouldn't love people. Maybe there should be no love in the world, because for me, 2-0 up, manage the game. If you're not going to win, don't lose. We had to do one of two things: either go and get a third or hold it tight. We were caught in 6s and 7s, and you doggy. He got doggied by Minty Breath. I couldn't believe it. He's not legit. You can't make errors like that at the back if you want to be a serious team. I'm expecting my club to close the gap on the top teams, and we faltered. That second half, we didn't look like. What is the point in having Solanke if you're not going to feed this brother the ball? I don't think Solanke had a single shot on goal the whole game. That's a disgrace. That's not Solanke's fault. He's having to run around like a Kenyan marathon runner. This is ridiculous. Give the boy the ball. And at the back, 6s and 7s. 6s and 7s. So for me, it's Postecoglou's fault, because he said to us, he doesn't know why the fan base is getting angry, because he thinks Timo Werner's doing it. Let me tell you what Timo Werner's doing, Postecoglou. He's given the opposition hope. I never want to see this brother again in my life. If he can't get over his love child, Werner, leave then. Leave. If you can't make a tough decision, don't play this brother. He's whack. Mikey Moore would have done a better job. He would have done a better job. Now, for me, I don't care. Questions need to be asked. Losing 3 games in 7 is a disgrace. It's relegation fodder. We look like Manchester Piccadilly right now. I don't know who's worse. Arsenal, Manchester. So for me, it's poor. It's very, very poor. I blame Postecoglou and I blame his love child, Timo Werner. That's it.
And you can blame Timo Werner for defensive mistakes today, Deji. It's such a cheap shot. He wasn't that bad today. There was worse players on the pitch than Timo. I don't rate him. I don't think he's good enough. But to blame him is lazy. And for Alex Box Office to even come on here and mention Højbjerg's name shows just how little he actually knows about football. Bentancur is levels above him. Yes, they might have had a bad game. Yes, it was a bad result. But this is what I despise about the Tottenham fan base. There's no level-headedness. It's either we're absolutely crap, Ange out, or we're going to win the league. There's nothing in between. Everyone needs to calm down. Brighton aren't terrible. They're not Southampton. Do you know what I mean? They're a decent side. Hang on. We was away from home. Yes, we messed up, but don't come on here blaming Timo Werner, a Champions League winner who didn't have a terrible game, for the mistakes that Romero made, Van der Ven, Udogie. That's who was to blame for today. And Ange Postecoglou has to take accountability for the fact that he didn't make substitutions at the right time. But the rest of what's been said here is absolute nonsense.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. I wouldn't say it's absolute nonsense. If you know football and you know the game, when Brighton's looking at our starting lineup, they're thinking Timo Werner is the weak link. We ain't even got to worry about him. You don't need to worry about Timo Werner. And when you've got a player like that on the pitch, it's hope. The other thing that you said is absolutely correct. From 60th minute, he did absolutely nothing second half. How is he lasting 80 minutes? Get this brother off the pitch. And then the other stupid sub he made is on the 86th minute. He's bringing on Mikey Moore to do what? On the 85 minutes to go.
But what you've got to understand... What you got to understand, Deji, is Mikey Moore is 17 years
That's
old
what
and he
I'm
played
saying.
90 minutes the other day in Europe. He can't just throw him in. He's
know.
got to manage him carefully.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is we are losing. We need to win the game or at least get a draw. What's Mikey Moore going to do with 5 minutes?
But yeah, but you're
That's just
saying that.
what I'm
But
asking.
what's he going to do with 20 minutes? There's nothing to say if he'd have come on with 20
But
minutes, so we're going to
Moore,
get anything back.
But can we agree on this? Mikey Moore looks like he has more nous, than Timo Werner. If Mikey Moore was in the same situation as Timo Werner was in the first half, that
he's a
child. Johnson and
Deji, you always said that. I remember Antonio Conte's days when you said the solution is to play Jed Spence, bro. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. You just have to accept it. I'm sorry, Kate. I'm sorry, Deji. I'm sorry, box office. I actually backed. I thought about your club last season. There is something really that Spursy thing. I don't think Spurs will ever be like close to the Arsenals or Liverpools or Man United. I'm sorry. Kate hit the nail on the head. There is something fundamentally wrong with the shirt, with the people that run it. And I'm sorry for some of the people that became Spurs fans. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry, Deji. Listen, bro. I'm sorry. I'm telling you, I don't think you understand the point here. I'm going to ask you a simple question, Deji. Do you believe Brighton, no matter how good they become, they're going to be a Liverpool or a Man City or an Arsenal? Just yes or no question, please.
I don't.
No, you don't. Do you know that Brighton now, you know why Spurs are now in the conversation? Because of Pochettino and because of Harry Redknapp and the quarterfinal of the Champions League and all the stuff, right? I believe that era, was your best era. I don't think you're going to ever be that top club unless something fundamentally changed, unless you are bought by an Arab guy like the Qataris or the Emirates. So they change the whole philosophy of the club. They change they change how your fans think. I've sat on streams, Deji, when fans were all right with the style of football above the results, bro. That is just a fundamental thing about the club, Deji. Let me just finish here, right? The problem with Spurs, you are one of the fans. I love you, Deji, right? You are so passionate about your club, and I love it. I want every football fan to be like you, right? But sometimes you'll have to be realistic. Timo Werner, what's the other guy's name? I'm sorry, the kid that's 17 years old, the youngest guy.
Mikey Moore.
Do you think you're going to win the Premier League with these guys? You will not.
No,
you will not, Deji.
We can beat Brighton with these guys.
No, you can't, because Brighton are a better team than you, and they proved it today.
No, everything you're saying has some form of credibility, apart from the one thing. Tottenham in the first half, whether you like it or not, we were cruising at 2-0. We were never in danger. We were comfortable.
Absolutely. You were cooking them.
The issue that I have, so when you're saying, can Tottenham be this team? Of course they can. We saw in the first half that Tottenham had the potential to be this team. What then happened is what Terry said rightly and eloquently. Postecoglou got it wrong. He didn't manage it. And that is the difference. You know, they talk about fine margins in football. That is the difference that Arsenal have shown us this season and that Spurs haven't shown us. When the going gets tough, can the tough get going? And Postecoglou let us down today. So I'm not going to sit here and accept you say Tottenham are that club. We showed enough to show that we should be up there.
I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something for the people in the chat and you, Deji and Kate. Tottenham Hotspur are not humble. And football does not get the non-humble people. Brighton today were humble. When you press them, they drop deep a little bit. Spurs today were not humble. Your players were complacent. They started passing in the 18. Udogie was trying to dribble in the 18. Van de Ven is trying to dribble. I know that's the Spurs way, the Ange way of playing football. Sometimes you'll have to be humble. Even Pep Guardiola, right? Even Pep Guardiola, when he saw the game is not going his way, he subbed Phil Foden to John Stones because he saw the game is not going his way. Spurs as a club, and I'm not as a fan base, the manager reflects what is going on. You're not humble. You need to know where you are. You're not humble, bro.
I said this.
You're not humble.
I get where you're both coming from, but that's what I put part of it definitely on Ange, because he tells his team to play that way from the first minute until the last minute. He has almost no game management in terms of adapting his style when he needs to. And where I do agree with Deji today, in isolation on today's game, he made no changes until the 80th minute. So for 40 minutes in the second half, Brighton were a better team, and he did nothing to change it. Whether people agree with Mickey Moore or not, you've got to make changes sooner. He literally gave his subs between 10 to 12 minutes each to change the game and actually try and get 2 goals and try and win it. I do think a lot of criticism today goes upon the manager. Yes, there's players. Udogie made that mistake. I thought Van der Ven, who I think is an amazing defender, if you just came down from space and watched him today, I thought particularly he was awful. And the midfield in the second half, it was being run through, but the manager did absolutely nothing to change it. And that, for me, again, is a concern if you want to go on to be a team that wins trophies. It really would be a concern, especially when your manager's called out on it. He just goes, "That's how we play, mate." That's just a red flag to me that he's not addressing it in terms of winning those trophies. 100%. But
so, the domination in the location has limits. That's what we're seeing right now. It has its limits. For me, once Brighton scored the first goal and you could see that their tails were up, change something. You got bring in a Basuma maybe let's get a bit defensive. Like you rightly said, nothing. So that's why I'm saying that you can't say, Mo, it's the Tottenham, it's the history. No, today is the manager's fault. Another manager would have made a tactical switch and got that right. For me, under Pochettino, we don't lose that game. I don't care. I said it. I didn't stutter. Under Pochettino, we don't lose that game. So I don't mind the football, but it needs to be managed. That's football.
A minute ago, we lost because of Timo Werner. Now we've lost.
Timo Werner is whack, Kate. I never
you
can't see that brother ever.
You're saying we lost because of him, and now we lost because of Ange. What? Yeah, but what is Ange supposed to do? No. Let me speak. What is Ange supposed to do? He takes Timo Werner off, right? And he's only got Mikey Moy can put there, who is a child. He's 17 years old. Shouldn't you be directing this anger at the fact that Daniel Levy left us short in the transfer window? He didn't buy good enough players. He bought children. That's where your anger should be.
So I'm not like you. I like people from our academy to come up. And maybe because it hits me personally. Do you know what I'm saying? I want to see English kids in the academy system getting an opportunity at first team football for the clubs that they love and they play for. I'm not here to be blocking pathways for youngsters who have talent. And if you don't let them play, at what point are they going to have an opportunity to shine? Mikey Moore showed midweek that he's got more quality than Timo Werner. You saw it against Ferencváros, the ball he gave to Timo Werner and the heavy touch that he took. I'm saying to you that if that was Mikey Moore in the same position as Timo, Brennan Johnson gets 2 goals today. It's that simple. We can see with our eyes. Don't back this guy. Timo Werner is crap. And I agree with Terry and I agree with Mo. If we continue to play this brother, we are not a serious club. We're not serious. He's crap.
No, I do agree. I do agree with your Werner point. I look at it. I know Moore's young. I do believe this about Werner. I don't believe he's the only reason you lost today. However, between Mickey Moore and another kid from your academy, they're only going to be as bad. They can only be as bad.
He's got to rotate the squad. You can't just constantly rely on one person.
I'd rotate it with a couple of kids. Werner is absolute dog breath.
He's horrendous. He's horrendous, guys. Like, I don't understand how this guy is a professional footballer in 2024. Come on, he's horrendous.
You would be better off today re-signing Darren Anderton to play for you than Timo Werner.
I can play if they cover my travel.
We have a very interesting super chat here, and I hope nobody takes offense by this.